Well, good afternoon, my friends. Welcome to the NeedleBugg. My name is Karen, and if this is your first time here, welcome. I am so glad you clicked on the video to give my channel a try. This is a channel mostly about cross-stitch, Hardanger embroidery. You'll find quite a few tutorials here on how to do certain things like stitches, how to stitch on the diagonal, and just a lot of stitch with me's and general tips, tricks, and other information. So there's a lot of videos. If you want to go back and check something out, feel free to do so. If not, and you just want to start from here on, that's okay too. And for those of you who have been hanging out with me for such a long period of time, thank you so, so much for all your encouragement, for all your support. And you know, if it would not be for all of you out there watching these videos, I probably wouldn't be doing it anymore. But it gives me great joy to be able to share this time with each and every one of you. So welcome, and let's get on with the agenda for today. Today, I thought I would show you the progress on the works in progress, or WIPs, that I'm concentrating on. I have more than this, of which I'm seriously considering weeding out, purging, because, you know, when I get too many, it just makes me a bit goofy. I don't handle that well, and then I don't know what to work on because there's too much to work on. So I'm trying very hard to narrow it down to these are the pieces I want to do, and I'll decide what to do with the rest of them. They may be giveaways, they may be some sort of rehoming. We'll see. So stay tuned for that. That won't be today, but stay tuned. There'll probably be some stuff coming. So what am I focusing on? Well, you guys all know I've been working on a stocking for my daughter, who just last week turned 40 years old, and she's never had a Christmas stocking made by Mom. So we are working on, or I am working on, Sir Frederick Frost. Let me get it the right way here. I always do this backwards. Sir Frederick Frosty, and let's get this out of our way. There we go. Sir Frederick Frosty, lovingly known as Fred. So this is where we are. When I started this, I started on the diagonal. Then I left the diagonal and went to a bit of, cross country. Then I worked in columns a little bit. And now I'm doing extreme cross country to finish it. So extreme cross country means that I am trying to, let me get a little closer for this part down here. Yeah, I've done all of that from his gloves down to the bottom that you see stitched since the last time you saw this. So I'm color completing, cross country color completing. So extreme cross country until I get the color finished. I think so far I have somewhere in the neighborhood of at least 20 colors finished. Now, what I initially was going to do was do the ninja stitches first. The ones that just had 1 or 2 or less than 10 or whatever first. But I found that was getting a bit too, I don't know if I want to say tedious, or I wasn't especially liking that because I had no place to anchor things. So what I went back to do is I'm on my second color that is over 3,000 stitches. And I figure if I get 2 of those in, that will, and that's difficult to hold. That's this blue. Whoop. And the other one was the reds in the scarf. So, yeah, my light's kind of screwy here. Let me turn it. There we go. Yeah, the blue and the light is, I think there were 5,000 stitches when I started doing that, and I still have about 4,000 to do. But that will give me a good base to work off of, I hope. So we'll see how it goes. It is a dreary day here today, so my light is not wanting to behave very well. So I do apologize for that. We had raining this morning, and it was just nasty out there. And now it's cold. So next up, what I've been working on is, of course, my daughter's married. Now, if those of you who have been with me for a while know that I have already done stockings for my grandkids, and they're already have used them for several years. But my daughter didn't have one, and my son-in-law does not have one. So this is where we are on his. Look, there we go. And this one is called Snowman by Heaven and Earth Designs. Both of them are on 20 count Aida cloth, 1/1. And a lot of people don't like that coverage, but I really don't have. Let me see if I can get it close enough for you to see. I really don't have a problem with it. Oh, now my light goes off. I fussed with this light. There. I think the coverage is just fine. I'm sorry, it's a little hard for you to see. This dreary days in this porch, even though it's a sun porch, it doesn't get a whole lot of light. Well, it does, but it doesn't. It's not the right kind of light for showing things. So we'll go back to this. Maybe this will help. There we go. Let's try this one too. Maybe that'll help. Who knows? Well, there we go. So those are 2 that are getting a lot of love. I try and stitch on, well, I've stitched on Fred most over the weekend and yesterday and today so far. Then I'll give Snowman a few days. And in the evenings, I kind of do switch it up a bit and try and do some things that don't take a lot of concentration or are easier on the eyes. Okay, next up is the Hardanger stitch along that you probably have already seen videos on the channel, and we are stitching the Mary Hickmont Hardanger sampler. I'm doing mine on 32 count platinum Lugana. Others are, you can do it on whatever fabric you want with whatever, you need to do the right pearl cotton for the fabric that you're using, but you can pick your fabrics, pick your colors. You can switch it up however you like. So this is where I am on mine. There we go. The light's kind of flushing it out now. It's either feast or famine, isn't it? This is a little hard to see because it's white on, there we go. Try that. It's white on a platinum. And I'll tell you what, By the time you get done with this, you have your fill of eyelets, because eyelets are all over the place. Let me try and give you a better look. I did some cutting here to do the video for how to cut and how to do that center filling stitch with it, which is a Greek cross. And then we'll gradually do the cutting on the other areas that need to be cut, but this gives you an idea of what it looks like. Anyone can still join in on this if they would like to. It's certainly up to you. It's not required. It's just for fun. But anyone is welcome to join us. And my plan is on a Thursday, I will post a Stitch With Me video while I am working on this. At this point in the stitch along, I have shown how to do every stitch that's in this sampler. Okay. There's videos in the beginning. If you look at block 1 and then block 2 and look at the previous videos in this stitch along, the explanation of how to start the block, how to stitch those stitches is all there. Okay. So we're over halfway. So to teach the stitches, I'd just be being redundant because I've already done that. So we're going to finish out the sampler as a stitch along. If someone needs help and they're stuck and don't know what to do to finish it up, my email is always in the drop-down box. You can certainly send me an email, send me a message on Facebook Messenger or Instagram. And I will certainly get back to you and help you with whatever it is that you need help with. But seriously, I've gone over all the stitches. So it's just a matter of maybe you need to go back and watch that video to refresh your memory. Fine. If that doesn't work, then let me know and we'll work it out together. But this is a gorgeous sampler and I really am enjoying stitching it. I had gotten away from Hardanger for quite a few years because I seem to get stuck in one area or another. I started out as a cross stitcher. I ended up as a Hardanger person. I went back to cross stitching and now I'm doing both. So always something and always something different. What can I say? So yeah, but eyelets. I know how to do eyelets. What I was personally having trouble with is getting them to look even. I was either not pulling tight enough or pulling too tight. And I don't have a problem with eyelets at all when they're in something. Like if they're surrounded by the cluster blocks, I don't have any trouble with those eyelets. They just go bloop, bloop, bloop. It's these individual standalone ones that they're just giving me a hassle. So, but as we all know, practice makes perfect. And believe it or not, there are times I have to practice too. So you're not alone. You're not alone at all. Practice, practice, practice. That's just how this craft works. And then this is something totally, well, not totally different. It's Hardanger. But I bought Yvette Stanton's book, Early Traditional Hardanger. And in reading that and in talking with Yvette, Hardanger traditionally was not done on Hardanger fabric. No, it was done on a very fine linen. Sometimes linen as high as 56 and 60 count linen. Okay, you're all going, oh my God. I can't see 40 count. How will I see 56 and 60? And they didn't use pearl cotton because traditionally they didn't have pearl cotton back in those days. So they used linen thread. So linen thread comes on these little spools. And yeah, it's hard to see. Okay. And it comes in different weights, just like your pearl cotton comes in different weights. Now, this particular spool happens to be 50 weight. And the other one I'm using happens to be, that's the number. Where is it? Where? 80 weight. And I'm not using it at the moment, but I also have some 100 weight. So 50 being the thickest, 80 being the one in the middle, and 100 being the thinnest. So, of course, you guys know me. Something different, Karen has to try it. Is that not the story of my life? It's just the way we roll here. See something different? Yeah, let's try it. Let's try it out. So I hope this is going to show up for you. What I started, and I'll just give you a glimpse of the pattern. Okay. It's a bookmark, and this just repeats. So what I started is this. Let me put that behind it. And this is on 40 count Alba Maxima linen. And it's done with the 50 weight, and I will use the 80 weight for the wrapping of the bars once I get to that. So this is just when I need a palette cleanser or just a couple hours with something different, I pull this out. Now, I will say this, working with linen thread is quite different than working with pearl cotton. Pearl cotton is rather forgiving and easy to manipulate. Linen thread, on the other hand, is not. When you have it bent into your, like, okay, you're doing your clusters and it's bending each time you go around, yeah, it kind of stays bent. And it's not a fiber that you want to have to make a mistake and rip it out and use that same piece to put those stitches back in. It's going to fray and shred rather easily, just because that's the nature of it. You know, linen thread is the same thing that they are using to weave your fabric. So, you know, it's going to have slubs in it, and it's going to have spots that are maybe a little thinner than other spots. And you know how if you take a piece of a thread off the edge of your fabric, how, you know, it has all those little crinkles in it from being woven, but it's probably pretty easy to fray. So it's when you frog it, you probably want to switch your piece of thread to another piece. So that is on, look at that. You can't hardly see it when I hold it back here. There we go. A little bit. That's another project that is sometimes when I just need something a little bit different. And then the final one that is on the active list. And I'm going to pull it over because we're going to do a little bit of a stitch with me today, in addition to this. So I'm going to move this over. And I'm going to go away and I'm going to bring this back around, and you'll still have my voice. You just won't see me. There we go. Oh, looks like I got to get you lined up again. Whoop, wrong way, Jose. There we are. Okay. Who knows what this is? God shed his grace. And if you've been following along, you know that I have divided the entire pattern into 3 panels. This is the first panel. So this is the panel that has the house. Okay. And so far, I have 2,240 stitches in. And I've kind of made up my mind. I'm going to tackle this one extreme cross country. Yeah. What am I thinking? I don't know what I'm thinking. But yeah, that's what we're going to try. So, get ready to call the bus. The bus to the loony farm, because that's where I'm probably going to end up at some point in time. It is such a short trip. And I can say that for real, because it really is a short trip, because I worked at the state hospital here in my area for a long time. Not my whole career, but that's where I started out as a nurse. And I worked there for 15 years. I did psychiatric nursing for 15 years. And now I hear you. You're going, explains a lot, doesn't it? Pardon me. I need a little drink. Yeah, that explains a lot. It is a short trip. Maybe let's bring you in a little closer here so you can see a little better. Oh, look at that. How's that? Okay. Now, this way a little more. There we go. Now you can see. So, those are the projects I've been working on. And actually, these are the ones that I will be working on until, as one gets completed, I may throw another one in the mix. But that at this point kind of remains to be seen, because I really want to get the stockings done. So until both stockings are done, I'm probably going to concentrate on those. I will be using probably the only time I'm going to work on God Shed His Grace is with a Stitch With Me. Now, I think I told you the Hardanger one I'm going to do on Thursdays. There will be a Hardanger Stitch With Me, as long as life does not enter into the mix. As we all know, it sometimes does. So at this point, I'm planning on every Thursday, you'll see a Hardanger Stitch With Me posted. Tuesdays, like today, I will do God Shed His Grace Stitch With Me. So those 2 projects for now are going to be the Stitch With Me's. Depending on how far I get or don't get on Fred or Snowman, I may switch it up and stick one of them in on occasion. But that is my plan as of this moment in time. Now, we all know plans can change, but my plan is to have the regular schedule of a stitch with me on a cross stitch project on a Tuesday, a stitch with me on a Hardanger project on a Thursday, and somewhere in the week, like maybe every other week, we'll throw in a live stream. So that's the plan for the schedule. I have them all on my calendar so that they happen. You know what? I'm one of those people that if it's not on the calendar, it probably is not going to happen. And that's terrible. So they're all penciled in, and we will see how it goes. And then you can follow along. If you're working on the Hardanger project, like I said, there's not going to be any more teaching videos, but what they are going to be is just sit and stitch with me, and I will answer any questions that come up along the way, or advise you on how to do something if you need that. I mean, you can throw the question at me before Thursday so that we can answer it on Thursday on the stitch with me. That would be my best suggestion. Okay, so that's that. I did want to mention one other thing here while I think of it, because it's been happening quite frequently with regards to the Diagonal Stitching Facebook group. And I know a lot of people find it through my videos or other people's videos. And so far, it's been a very, with a few exceptions, it has been a very nice group to be in, I guess is the best way to put it. There's been no drama, so to speak, and that's fine, and that's wonderful. However, what has been happening is some of these scammer people, I'm pretty sure they're scammer people, are trying to get in. And I can reasonably say that they probably are, because of the way they answer the questions, which is, who's your favorite designer? Yes. Why do you want to be in this group? Yes. Whatever the question might be, their answers are yes. Those people are not getting in the group. I have since changed what would have been question number 1 to say, all questions must be answered, and they must be answered with appropriate answers in order to be in the group. Because I'm doing that because I don't want scammers in there. And there were some that were posting some inappropriate things. So I'm trying to filter all that away. So just be aware that if you want to join the For the Love of Diagonal Stitching Facebook group, you must answer the questions. If I see questions not answered or questions with inappropriate answers, you're immediately denied. Doesn't mean you can't try again, but you must have answers to the questions. I'm just trying to make sure that people are stitchers and not people that are going to take advantage of others. Now, the other thing is I've gotten friend requests, which is fine. I don't mind friend requests. And I have, my friends list is pretty long. And I don't know everybody on my friends list, but I don't mind having them as friends if they're fellow stitchers. And I have gotten several requests lately. And what I usually do is I look at people's profiles before I answer. Before I accept or decline, I check out a profile. If I don't see anything on your profile that is stitching related, I'm not going to accept your friend request. Again, for the same reason, because too many people's accounts are getting hacked. Happened just to a friend of mine again the other day, and she had to redo everything, and she had to go around and try and recollect her friends. And that's how I found out that, or that's how I figured out that she was probably hacked and sent her a message, because we were already friends on Facebook, and I got another friend request. So I messaged the profile that I knew was her to find out that, yes, indeed, she had been hacked. And we deleted that, or I deleted from my list of to accept or deny. I deleted the one that was not her, or the one that had been hacked, and accepted her new friend, because again, people are setting up fake accounts. So I guess for those of you that are on Facebook, but maybe and want to friend request me, but don't post a lot and don't have a lot of stitching, or don't have any stitching on your profile or in your photos or on your account at all, send me a message and tell me who you are. Because if I don't see that you are a stitcher, and I can't verify that you are a stitcher, I'm not going to accept your friend request. And I don't mean that to be mean. I'm trying to protect my things too, that I don't get hacked. And a lot of times that's how these people who have nothing better to do with their lives than to get other people frustrated and upset. Yeah, I don't have time for that. So if you have nothing there that designates you as a stitcher, message me and include something to verify the fact that you are, and that you are who you say you are. Or else I will not accept your friend request. So that's that. That's my spiel on that. Oh, what else do I have? I talked about the answers. You saw my projects. I told you I'm going to be purging projects. Yeah, I haven't decided yet what I'm going to do with those that I purge. I may just try and salvage the fabric. If there's not a lot of stitching on it, I'll just frog what's on it. If it does have an amount of stitching on it, well then I may just rehome. So and unthread your needle while you're stitching. So you just have to keep an eye out for that if you're interested in giving Annie a new home. We shall see how that goes. But I haven't totally decided that yet, but it's up and coming. So we'll see how that goes. Let's see. Let me count here. Okay, that's right. The way I'm doing this extreme cross country is, since this color is very highly concentrated in this area of the chart, I'm really just moving up and down the columns in 10 by 10 squares and stitching one square at a time. It is making it easier for me to keep my place. And I picked, this color is 934. And I don't know that it goes up high in the chart, but it's one of them that has 6,000, over 6,000 stitches, close to 7,000. So I thought, let's start there, because that at least is going to give me a good bit to work off of. And I may do one more color that has a whole lot of stitches in it. And then I'll start at the bottom. Okay, would it be starting at the bottom or starting at the top? If I start with the least number of stitches and work back up to the most number of stitches. That way I have doing it that way, I have a place to anchor thread if need be. And I have those stitches to count off of to keep my place. So we'll see how this goes. And so far, I say this every time, and every time you sit there, you're sitting there and you're laughing, and I know you're laughing and you're going, oh my God, she's at it again. She's doing it again, ladies. She's doing it again. And gentlemen, she's doing it again. She's going to say, I think I found the way. I think I found the way that I'm really going to be happy to stitch. And I'm not going to stitch any other way from now on. Is that what you're thinking? I can hear you. I hear that little whisper in the background, and you're sitting there laughing at me, but that's okay. You can laugh at me. I know. I told you, it's a short trip to Crazy Town. But all that being said, at this given moment in time, I'm not going to speak for tomorrow, and I'm not going to speak for next week. At this given moment in time, I am rather enjoying this. It's for me. Okay, start laughing again. Come on. I want to hear it. I want to hear it. At this moment in time, I'm finding it quite freeing to not have to change color all the time. I can just highlight 934 and just follow the color wherever it goes until my thread runs out. And then I can load up another needle and follow it some more until my thread runs out, or I have actually accomplished all 6,688 stitches of this color. Well, that's what I have left to do. This I started on the diagonal down here, so I can't tell you how many there were, but yeah. And I know it sounds, it is and it isn't a systematic approach. It is in the sense that I'm working a color and I'm following that color. My path is 10 is the squares, okay? The 10 by 10 squares is my path. So I'm following the 10 by 10 squares up. When I have no more, then I'll jump to this column and come down, this column and go up, and I'll just keep working it until, and when I run out of that color in this area, I'll go find the next spot where it is. Works for me. And I'll keep doing that until I have no more stitches of that color left. And we'll see how it goes. I don't know if any of you remember him. Those of you that have done full coverage for a while, and if you're in the Heaven and Earth Facebook group, Mario, I can't say his name. I can't say his last name, but he stitches beautifully, and his projects are huge, absolutely huge. He uses 11 count fabric with 4 strands of floss, and he stitches Heaven and Earth designs, and they are out of this world gorgeous. I love to follow his stitching, and he hadn't posted for a really long time. And then I was talking about that kind of stitching, or the extreme cross country, and thought about him, and I mentioned his name somehow in a post, and the next thing you know, he was there and he answered it. It was so it was so cool. So we had a little bit of a conversation, which was fun. But he is still stitching. He's starting a new project, and the poor guy. What he does, and I think I talked about this in my last video, but what he does is he has several different color, and I'm assuming they're regular ink pens, and he marks his stitches on his fabric so that when he sits down to actually stitch, like he'll just have to follow the red for whatever color the red is. And maybe he has a blue and he just has to follow it. So he doesn't really have to sit with the chart. All that part of it is done, and he just sits and fills in the color where he has it marked. Well, the poor man marked his fabric with his first 4 colors, went to start stitching. Now, he always buys his floss ahead of time so that as he's done marking it, he has the colors. And he went to start stitching, and he pulled the first color, or went to pull the first color, and he didn't have it. Thought that was odd. So he went to pull the second color, and he didn't have it. So then he finally decided maybe he better do some checking. I felt so bad for him. He had the right colors for the chart that he wanted to do, but he marked his fabric for the wrong chart. Oh my God. I thought, oh my God, all that time it takes to put those marks on your fabric so that you don't have to use your chart when you're actually stitching. And he used the chart. I felt so bad. I felt so bad for him. But, and he said he was going to buy another piece of fabric. And I can't remember if he said it first or if I said it about, well, just flip over what you have and use the other side. You just have to remember which is the side that you're actually stitching and don't stitch the wrong one. So it was very nice to hear from him. And I hope he continues. I hope he posts pictures again because his stitching is just fabulous to watch it all come together the way he stitches. And oh, they're huge. I mean, imagine 11 count. Imagine how big. Okay, you take, God shed his grace. I forget what the actual stitch count on that was, but it's huge. And then you put that on 11 count. It's extremely huge. And for those people that wonder, the design is just as beautiful on 11 count as it is on 25 count. It doesn't change. The only thing that changes is the size of your stitches and of course the size of your finished piece. You know, that's huge. But yeah, I hope he could. Mario, if you watch these, please keep posting your progress pics. We love to follow your progress, or at least I love to follow your progress, because it's amazing to watch a extreme cross country picture grow. I mean, you start to see things coming in little by little, and I do enjoy it. So I'm giving it a shot. We're going to see how it goes. You know, and I said this to someone, I said, when I first tried it, which was, oh man, probably close to 10 years ago, probably, I talked myself out of it because I wasn't secure in doing a full coverage piece. I kept going, oh my God, what if I count wrong? What if I count wrong? What if I get 8 colors put in and I find that one color was wrong? How do you rip all that and fix it? And I had myself in a worried dither that I can't do this. But now I'd like to think I'm not an expert, don't ever profess to be. But I have a lot more confidence in doing a full coverage. So it doesn't give me the heebie-jeebies anymore. And hopefully, if there's a mistake, which there may end up being some, I can assess, do I really need to frog it? Is it really going to make that much difference in the chart? Or maybe I'll hopefully find them a lot quicker, that if I do need to frog, it's not as bad as if you have a whole lot more stitches in it. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Anything is worth trying at least once, sometimes twice. But I had a long hiatus in between when I first tried it and trying it now. And right now, today, I'm not speaking for the future. Today, I like it. And yeah, just in this little bit of time, I've gotten 50 stitches in. So isn't that wonderful? So I have one more thing to talk about, and then we're gonna. Then I think I'm gonna call it quits so that we don't go. We can go a little over an hour if we need to, but I don't like to go too much longer than that, just because, you know, there's so many people to watch out there these days that. Do you really want to sit and listen to me ramble on more than an hour? Yeah, it's okay. It's fine. You don't have to. Okay, I did that. All right. I thought I messed up there for a second, but nope, we're good. The other thing that I'm reading, and I've been on this soapbox before, and this is why I close my channel after every video with the only rules in cross stitch are those you set for yourself. Because it annoys me. It hurts my feelings when I hear or read somebody, I don't want to say bemeaning, but jumping all over somebody else for the manner in which they stitch. Oh my God, you can't do it that way. You have to do it this way. Or that's wrong. You can't, that's just wrong. You can't do that. I want to know where the cross stitch police are to tell me I can't do that. It has not happened to me. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that it has, but it has happened to people I know. And I really, really think that needs to stop. As long as a person is happy with what they're stitching, the manner in which they are stitching, and the outcome of that stitching, that's all that matters. It doesn't matter what Susie Jones or, Joe Schmuck down the street thinks. It does not matter. What matters is how I personally feel about what I am doing. And if I am happy, that's all that counts. People need to be kind. People need to stop criticizing everybody's work. I get on this bandwagon once in a while, and when I hear it happening to people, it just stirs up my dander, and I feel like I have to mention it again, because that's just wrong. I could not recollect that I have ever said to anybody, oh my God, you can't do it that way. You will not hear that on this channel. You will hear encouragement. You will hear support. If somebody asks me, is this okay? Does this look okay? Is there a different way? I'll offer that. But I'm not going to say to them, oh my God, you can't do that. That's wrong. On the other hand, I may say, have you thought about doing this as opposed to this, that might be a little easier for you? But I'm not going to say what they did is wrong. I will offer a suggestion to hopefully make it easier for somebody, or make it that they'll understand more of what they're doing and why they're doing it. But people need to stop criticizing. And not just about stitching, but about what people do with their lives. People need to stop. If you have nothing nice to say, move on. Move on. You know, it happened to another fellow floss tuber that people criticized something that she was doing in her personal life. And they jumped down her throat for it. And they really didn't understand. To which really, rightly so, made her angry and really hurt her. That's uncalled for. That is totally uncalled for. And I know I talked about this before, but it just annoys me when people are like that. You know, or people that are putting dislikes on videos is another thing. You know, okay, if I'm doing something that you dislike and you have the need to put a dislike on my video, at least have the courage to tell me what it is that you don't like. Did I have music on that was too loud? Or what was it? Tell me. Have the courage. If you don't have the courage to say what it was that you disliked, then don't click that box. Maybe you just picked the wrong video. Maybe it's something, stitching is not something you're interested in. But if that's the case, does that warrant a dislike? I ask that question. What I find extremely unsettling, and these I do kind of take personally, to be honest with you, is you post a video, okay? You're uploading a video. I wait until YouTube has done all its stuff that it has to do before I make it public. It's under unlisted until that time. When YouTube, I'm done stitching, so I'm going to switch my thing back so I can see you and talk to you. Hold the phone. Okay. YouTube does its thing before you make it public in case there's something that you need to fix or whatever. And I wait until then before I make it public. But what really galls me is I can make that public. I know it is a 30-minute video. Not even 5 minutes has passed since it went public. So that means whoever had to find it, had to click on it, but they certainly couldn't have watched very much of it. And there's already dislike on it. That makes me angry. That makes me angry. You did not, and I'm just using you as a general term to whoever is doing those kinds of things to people. You didn't even give that video a chance because you didn't even get 5 minutes into the video. To me, I take that a little personal because you don't even have the gall to write what it was you didn't like. But you probably don't know what it was you didn't like because you didn't watch enough of it. Yeah. That's annoying. That's extremely annoying. So I know where other people are coming from when it happens to them. You know what? And I don't expect everybody to like my videos. Not at all. Not at all. Oh, there goes my light. Sorry. Not everybody likes everybody. Not everybody likes everybody's videos. It's just the way it is. And that's okay. But be kind. Have the gall to say, I felt I needed to put a dislike on your video because, and then list constructively what it was that you did not like. Don't be mean. List it constructively. I stopped doing it. I had people that, my backgrounds used to have, at one time I put some things that flew around the screen, and I had people tell me, well, we kind of don't really like that because it's distracting. Okay, fine. I won't put it on there anymore. And I didn't. That I can take. But just a dislike for the sake of dislike without even watching 5 minutes of a video, that is offensive. Anyway, off the soapbox. All I'm going to say is people need to be kind. People need to respect other people. People need to stop being keyboard warriors. If you cannot say it to my face or anyone else's face, don't say it via a keyboard. Because I will not put up with it. And if it happens on my channel, I will call you out on it. I will. Because I've had enough. I've had enough. Not just for me, but for all the other floss tubers that I watch, I really like. I don't know them personally. I never met them, but I like their channel and I want to support their channel and I want to support them as people because they deserve to be treated nice too. So, end of soapbox. End of soapbox. And if this, all I can say is if you are offended by what I just said and the shoe fits, wear it. Then I'm not going to say I'm sorry because that kind of thing is uncalled for. And I'm not sorry for voicing my opinion because I too am entitled to an opinion. And that is mine. So if the shoe fits, wear it. If I lose subscribers that way, I lose them. It just takes, it'll just take a little longer to reach 15,000 and have a wonderful giveaway. Okay, that's all. Because it will get there at some point. It will. It doesn't have to be today. It doesn't have to be next week. It doesn't have to be next year. Because this is my channel and I can make videos what I want, when I want, and what makes me happy. So I'm done now. I think I have rambled on about that enough. So I am going to say ta-ta for now. I will see you all next time. I have it at the end. If you like what you see here and want to have fun and whatever, please feel free to subscribe. Hit the notifications so that you know when I post a video or go live. I am planning to go, I'm not sure. There will be a live soon, honest, I promise. But yes, subscribe, hit the notification button. If you're interested in joining the channel as a VIP member, please consider that. Not mandatory, not mandatory. It will get you into a special Facebook group just for VIP members of the channel. So it's there if you're interested. So with that, my friends, I am going to say, until next time, just remember, the only rules in cross stitch are the ones you set for yourself. Bye-bye for now.